Skyfire Aftermath is a victorious moment for Genesis Studios. Building on the success of Fracture Reshaped, they have released a highly anticipated Skyfire Aftermath. Genesis Studio presents its interpretation of the events that preceded the 2021 event Operation Skyfire. But unlike last time, Genesis Studios had different parameters to work with, one of them being expectation. With Fracture Reshaped, no one really expected them to pull off such an outstanding event by a studio that weren't Epic Games, one that would even grab the attention of Donald Mustard. So can they do it again and surpass these pretty high expectations now I think the community is expecting? Right off the bat, we find ourselves in the rubble, or some of it, left by the last reality mothership, saved by the Imagine Order personnels Doggo and Gunner. The contrast between Doggo and Gunner is a great touch. A dorky character alongside a more serious and imposing Gunner.
You are doing alright?
Each of us were given a clear task by Dr. Sloan. I deal with the enemies, you gather any survivors from the mothership crash. So far, one survivor.
We're waking up! We've got to move!
Thinking about the original Skyfire event and of course Chapter 2 Season 8, most of the criticism came from not seeing the aftermath and the devastation that the mothership should have really left behind. But this event does a beautiful effort in filling that void, which, to be fair to Fortnite, they encapsulated that very well in one of the Chapter 2 Season 7 trailers, where you really got a sense of the terror and the sheer ominous darkness that these cubes held. But to be fair, every time I saw a caretaker, I was a little scared. After being confronted by a horde in the sideways, we are then interrupted by an unexploded bomb, which leaves us a bit out of sorts. But we see the last reality monitors, which is a well-known concept from a few years ago. The monitor being a fan concept, but a concept actually coming from Epic Games themselves, or an artist that was commissioned by Epic Games, was the General, which appears to be scrapped currently. But he seemed to be a general for the Chimera, which Genesis Studios expands on that principle.
Alright, give it a rest. Oh, before I forget, I'm Doggo, and this is my colleague Gunner. He's my best friend.
Then, through this very interesting earpiece, because the person who drew these did say, the truth of these seemingly simple earpieces went beyond Fortnite. It was a gateway into mysterious things I'm not able to discuss, but I won't stop you from theorizing. As Donald once said to me, the best story is the story you tell yourself. Through said earpiece, we are able to hear Mari with a ominous figure in the background.
Mari here, hot saucers extraordinaire. Remember when I told you not to trust Sloan?
Mari was a pivotal character between Chapter 2 Season 6 and Season 7. You would hear her on the radio explaining the incoming last reality, as well as heavily doubting Sloan's intentions. Basically, the radio station was all about conspiracies.
I'm starting to like you, and I'm worried they'll get rid of you once we bring you to them. So, here you go. If they try anything, just use it to get back to the loop.
Those legs aren't going to walk themselves, you know! Move!
Everything in this event up to this point is so cool. It feels like a TV show. It's a Fortnite live event focusing much more on dialogue than spectacle. Of course, moments like these are very spectacle driven. Clawing your way up a monitor's arm or leg or something. But the team at Genesis have made a much more calculated effort to focus on dialogue driving the narrative and spectacle being second, or at least being very well blended in together. Dialogue in the driving seat, spectacle in the passenger seat. Maybe that's a good analogy for this. Of course, this is Genesis' version of events, but they do pay homage to many fan theories or what we believed happened at the time Of course, Jonesy hiding on the island as a cow.
Forces have found our traitor yet.
I think I know where he is. I see you, Jones.
I'm not here.
Guards,
We then go to the redacted bunker, a secret that gripped the Fortnite storyline and lore community for 8 seasons. Just to find out it was nothing more than just a storage unit, I think. But of course, when the ship fell, Sloane did actually make her way to this redacted area with some space tech, and I presume maybe John Jones. This is where we finally see Geno and the Blade of Stasis. Of course, in the video I've already talked about the monitors and of course the general both being concepts, which we haven't seen in game. But Geno is something we've seen in comic books, but not in game, so kind of still a concept. Okay, he isn't because we have seen him, so we presume he would look like that in game as well, and we have seen the ageless champion as well. So Geno isn't really a concept, just a far, far away dream. Now, something I really want to commend Genesis on is how they lead up to this coming together of the General, Sloane and Geno, which of course has been building up since Fracture. We've got the tease of Geno, and at the start of this event, we see the Chimera General make his debut. But the pacing is very, very good in this event. It's been very well thought out from start to finish. When we saw the Chimera make his entrance, it would have been very easy for the Chimera General to show his hand, but he was like, no, we're not going after the small fry, we want the leader, which sets up this meetup in the bunker. It's very hard to juggle several elements when they're happening all at the same time, and a great idea for this false MacGuffin, a thing that you think will end it all, but it gets interrupted by the Chimera General and indeed Geno fighting, which means you have to go to plan B, the last resort, which thankfully didn't play out.
You remember how Sloane put you on that ship, blew it up, and didn't get you safe on the ground? No? You must have hit your head or something. Sloane never liked you. So, surely you don't mind taking a little personal revenge on her, right?
I believe the fox.
But thankfully you are put into a deep sleep, or probably not deep enough apparently. But I believe this little part here is to mirror what then Geno talks about later in the event.
Child, revenge is a destiny for the weak. I'll be honest, I wanted to get even. But when I saw how hard my daughters fought during the war against the Order, it changed my mind. They weren't fighting for themselves. They fought for a peaceful world, the way they envisioned a perfect society. I devised a plan that would utilize the Blade of Stasis to create a world where no one has to fight for their own vision of an ideal society.
My presumption on this point is because Mari is telling you to get revenge on Sloane, so you wouldn't have shot Geno and then Sloane, you would have shot Sloane and Geno. I don't think that would have worked, do you? I don't know if it is deliberate, but of course Geno saying revenge is for the weak and Mari telling you Sloane didn't like you, so it wouldn't hurt to take some revenge, ties up pretty well.
Geno, they made it back out. They went back into the loop.
That traitor's not going anywhere. Find them, Sloan. Terminate them from my perfect world.
Bro thinks he's E-barred fawn. Anyway, the reveal, obviously, we go back to where we left off after Fracture, and Geno victorious in constructing his imagined order, his grand society.
It's bound to me, Sloan. Thought you'd figure it out sooner. Disappointing.
Why? Why do...
For dialogue from this point is excellent. When Geno is mentioning about his daughters, the Imagine and the Order, fighting against the Order.
That ended.
Oh, child. Revenge is a destiny for the weak. I'll be honest, I wanted to get even. But when I saw how hard my daughters fought during the war against the Order, it changed my mind. They weren't fighting for themselves. They fought for a peaceful world, the way they envisioned a perfect society. I devised a plan that would utilize the Blade of Stasis to create a world where no one has to fight for their own vision of an ideal society. A perfect world for imperfect beings.
So Geno did this for some twisted sense of love, affection, and parental responsibility, which I believe even in Genesis Studios' version of event, obviously collision still happens, so I presume him and his daughter, the Imagined, got ripped apart when they fell into the 0 point. And we see Geno put himself back together after collision. And honestly, one of the most crazy reveals that puts everything together.
One problem was that the blade was weak. It could only send one being into deep sleep for a limited time. That's when I saw the power of Pandora's box.
The gems have a hidden potential. They can awaken the true power of anything they touch.
Pandora's box? You told me it was destroyed.
It was, but the Olympians rebuilt it for themselves.
What did you do to them?
Not important. Was to wait until Paradigm gave her life to stop the Nothing. I thought there was no one left who could pose a threat to me. It wasn't until I sent everyone into the deep sleep, however, that I discovered you had survived in that tank.
Honestly, when I first started YouTube and playing Fortnite, the majority of my focus was on the Fortnite storyline, and definitely we've had some highs and some lows. And recently, we've had some actually good events, to be fair, and some quite good story, but we never seem to get that moment of conclusion, or at least some form of understanding. Like it seems to roll into the next thing. But what Genesis does is really good. They obviously try and roll Pandora's box into the next thing, which I think will be the Big Bang, and the Order, Doggo, and Geno will be the main focus, I believe. And of course, we are still in a deep sleep, but with the reveal of Pandora's box being the catalyst that made the Blade of Status more powerful, that allowed everyone to go into an internal deep sleep. Which left one of the burning questions after Fracture Reshape is how we're in this deep sleep and how is Geno doing this, which in this event we got that conclusion. Now it's on to the next thing of how does it all end. And honestly, Epic Games can learn one or two things from Genesis Studios here. Fortnite has got the balance between spectacle and dialogue and driving the narrative right, sometimes spot on. Like Collision, for example, actually they probably got it spot on. Zero Crisis, spot on. Fracture, not so. And probably the later events in Chapter 5, although they were good, the balance of dialogue, spectacle, wasn't quite on the ball. And then obviously we get left with this Order conclusion and Sloan's last ditch effort to get the message out there that we need saving.
There she is.
Wait, please, wait. We need your help.
We want to take down Geno, and you are the only one of them that we could find.
You're missing the point. You set up an illusion that fools.
You think it's easy to make a perfect world?
So, are you in?
So I'm so looking forward to the conclusion of this 3-part story arc in the Big Bang on Warped. I said this after Fracture Reshaped, and I say it again. I don't understand how Epic Games dropped the ball on the Fortnite storyline. Seeing people react to a more story narrative event and seeing them engulfed in the moment, and actually seeing characters rather than, I guess, the more normalized Rocket 0 point box, which Fortnite normally relies on to drive narrative. But we need to see more characters. We need to build this universe that they've created, and it's a good universe, but they always for whatever reason refuse to really go full in and just to hold it back. Anyway guys, comment down below what you made of this event and what you think Epic should do for future events. I know you're looking forward to the Big Bang on Warped. Let me know in the comment section, leave a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you did enjoy this one, you may enjoy this one because it's kind of similar. So until next time, it has been your boy Mr. J. Till next time, bye bye.